question. Can all dragons teleport items such as mail, or is it just Spike? This is a discussion that I see pop up every once in a while, and I think it's a rather interesting one. Because throughout the series, we never actually see any dragon other than Spike use this teleportation ability. In fact, dragon powers throughout the show seem to be limited to 3 things: flight, fire breath, and the call of the Dragon Lord. And I guess the molt if you want to count that. You could look at G5, which introduces a bunch of other special abilities to dragons, but they have cutie marks in that future, and because of a whole bunch of crazy lore contradictions, just so that we're on the same page, I can't use anything G5 says as fact. So if none of the other dragons demonstrate the ability to teleport items, then why is Spike able to do it? Well, let's take a look at what Spike predominantly uses his magic for: to send letters to Celestia. We don't ever really see him teleport anything other than letters. There are a couple of small exceptions, like when he might teleport his dragon code, or perhaps the tickets to the Grand Galloping Gala, which are encased within a letter, but these are still things that are directly tied to writing letters. But not only does he send letters, he also receives them. Now, if you ask me, this doesn't look like the usual teleportation we see from unicorns. Whatever's going on here is something different. And I have to ask, why would he be able to send letters of all things? This ability is super specific and is a weirdly convenient way for Twilight to stay in touch with Celestia 24/7. The fact that this is all just super specific and super useful to Twilight suggests to me that this isn't a random ability that Spike has. It looks a whole lot more like this ability was specifically designed for Twilight to stay in touch with Celestia, who just so happens to know a spell to send a letter that somehow always finds its way to this specific dragon? And in terms of letters that Spike ever receives, he only ever receives letters from Celestia. Personally, I think this whole thing looks a whole lot less like a natural ability and a whole lot more like Celestia cast a spell on Spike, giving him the ability to send and receive letters directly from her as a way to keep in touch with Twilight. This is further supported by the fact that before Twilight was her student, Celestia had done a similar thing with Sunset Shimmer, giving her a book that, when it had a message wrote in it, would send a copy of that message to Celestia's book. This idea of Celestia casting a spell on Spike to give him this ability has actually been a headcanon of mine for a long time, and I'm honestly surprised more people haven't thought of it. Like, I have so many conversations with people who are trying to figure out how Spike can send and receive letters, and then I just tell them, well, what if Celestia just cast a spell on Spike? And then they all go, oh, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Anyway, that's the theory. It's really a rather simple one.